Welcome back to another episode of the BORO BUZZ, and today's episode is, I don't know what you want to call it. It's another home run like we had last time. So stay tuned.
What's up, Boro Nation, and welcome to the BORO BUZZ, the all-access pass to everything sports in and around the borough. We're talking inside the lines and behind the scenes, athletes, coaches, refs, and the stories you don't hear on game day. If it's happening in the gym, on the field, or in the locker room, you'll hear it here. This is the BORO BUZZ.
This episode is sponsored by Just Keep Swinging. From top quality equipment to custom apparel like hats, shirts, and more. They're more than just sporting goods store. They are here to support our athletes and community every step of the way. Whether you're gearing up for game day or looking to rep your team with fresh merch, Just Keep Swinging has you covered. Give them a follow today. Another sponsor of this episode is Mark Von Cannon with Hallen Allen Tate Realtors. Your go-to for real estate, backed by market knowledge and real-world experience. Just remember, themarkv.com.
All right, we're here at the BORO BUZZ with Coach Toby Strider, Southwestern Randolph. How you doing, Coach?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Everybody's been talking about that drone shot, man. Everybody's like, did you run over? Did Coach try to touch the drone? I'm like, I swear he didn't. I swear.
Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about who Toby Strider is. I mean, we know you know from the commercials. You can talk a little bit about that. I think that's kind of cool. Me growing up, I've seen those commercials, and then about your love for baseball and softball.
Well, you know, I was born right here in Randolph County. Grew up. My mom and dad's house was across the road from Southwest before the school was there. I think they built their house in '67 and the school opened in '70. So, you know, I've been there all my life. The school's always been our closest neighbor and been our best neighbor. And I hope the Striders have been the best neighbor to the school as well. But, you know, our family's been in the car business for 50-some years. I was fortunate. We had the Buick GMC Subaru dealership for 30 years. And, you know, just the Lord lines things up. We were able to sell that. We wasn't necessarily planning on it, but it worked out. I wasn't planning on being a high school softball coach. Lo and behold, that worked out, and one thing led to another, and here I am in year 3 coaching high school softball.
And speaking of those dealerships, didn't y'all have one in Randleman?
Yeah, at one time we had, we had the Buick store.
Yeah.
Then we had we've always had the lot that I still have, Home Plate Motors.
Yeah, right behind Ashboro High School, right?
Right behind Ashboro High School, across from Nautilus and Fidelity.
There's a shout out right there. Make sure you go buy a car.
Yeah, come on down, slide on in, and drive one home today. Yeah. But we've always had Home Plate. My dad actually started at the lot right beside that in 1970, so we've been on Fayetteville Street for 50-some years. But
I know your salesman from Randleman, Dan Jordan. His son Tristan was my best friend in high school and middle school.
So we had a lot in Randleman, and we had a lot in Denton at one time. So you know, and that was internet was around, but it wasn't what it is today. You know, and you sort of had to disperse to grab different markets, and as that, you know, everything changes today. All your shopping's done on your phone.
It's funny you said that because he actually learned Spanish by working at your dealership. He would have people come in and he would learn how to speak, so he became bilingual working for you.
Yeah, I wish I would have took Spanish a lot more serious.
Me too.
You know, communication's the key to anything, and speaking multiple languages is only going to help you, but I wasn't real good at that still. Yo no hablo español.
But so what's interesting about you is you said you never thought you coached softball, but you were doing baseball for a while.
Oh, no. I mean, I didn't say I didn't think I would ever coach softball. I didn't know that I was going to be a high school coach. So, yeah, I mean, you know, I played football and baseball in high school, went to Wingate, pitched at Wingate, got hurt, came home, graduated from UNCG. You know, just helped around. I had a nephew that their coach got promoted or something when he was right at Christmas break in 8th grade, and I coached at Southwest Middle. And then Ronnie Pugh, and Ronnie was my quarterback coach in high school, has mentored me all my life, sports, business, whatever. I talked to Ronnie this morning, thanked the world of him, and helped him in 2009 and 10 with Legion Ball. And during that time, Liz got pregnant with our third child, Maylee, and, you know, Molly was 5. Yeah, she was 5 playing, or 6 playing coach pitch, and I'll never forget this. The first game of the year, she hit it as well as any boy on the team hit it, but she wouldn't run to first base, and she was real shy, still is shy today. But by the end of the year, she struck out every at bat, and you know, she's 6 years old. I wasn't too hard, but after the game, I was like, "Why aren't you hitting the ball?" She said, "Well, because you're always at town helping them boys. You're never at home to help me anymore." And boy, you talking about pulling on the heartstrings. So, a few days later, I told Ronnie, I was like, hey, when we get done with this summer, I'm going to be done. I've got to coach them. But went from coaching Legion ball to a bunch of 8-year-old girls coach pitch softball, and I thought this is going to be terrible. And lo and behold, I fell in love with the game. It's such a fast game. And, I've progressed along, coached for, 17, 18 years now. But I wasn't selling my business thinking I'm going to become a high school softball coach.
Yeah.
But the Lord's lined all that up, and I think there's a lot of stuff from business that's helped me in coaching. And I've been blessed with a lot of talent, and therefore we've had success in the way you measure success today.
And 2 questions off of that. One, you still got what made you want to keep the home plate motors instead of just riding off into the sunset after selling dealerships?
Well, we've always, we've just always been in it. It's been in our family forever, so I don't know how to not sell or not be in business to an extent. I had a few employees that had been with us a long time. Andy Perdue's like a brother to me, and when we sold, we had probably 10 employees that were very key. 6 of them, 6 were on Social Security or getting ready to be on Social Security. 3 were under 40. And then I had Andy that was in his early 50s. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough spot to make a career change. So, I had a conversation with him about you can stay with the group that's buying us. You can go somewhere else. If you want to stay with me, I'll make you a partner at home plate. And but you're going to run it. You're going to be there. I don't intend on being there, 40 hours a week. And he didn't hesitate. He said, absolutely. And I've got a great staff there that allows me to do other stuff like this.
And the other question I had was, you talk about making the transition from boys to girls, men to women. As a coach myself, what do you see the difference in?
If you tell a boy that he sucks, he gets mad and wants to prove you wrong. If you tell a girl she sucks, she believes you and quits. Girls want to please you. Mm-hmm. They've just got to like you and respect you, and you can push the snot out of them.
Yeah.
But they've got to like you and respect you, and they will do everything they can to please you.
And that's true, and I feel like even parents, they try to live through both men and women.
Oh, yeah. That's natural. There's pressure today on parents, too, because we've got all this pressure through social media.
Yeah.
So, I think parents feel pressure to do something good so they can post. But, at the end of the day, and I try to talk to the girls about this constantly, that softball, people don't go tonight to the softball contest. People don't go tonight to the softball whatever. They go to the softball game. And the word we forget in our society today is game. Games are meant to be fun. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. I don't like to lose. I'm not going to say that I do, but I think we can get so caught up in that. And then our identity, talking about parents, they feel pressure for their kid to succeed. The kid feels pressure, and they get identified by how successful of a player they are or how unsuccessful of a player they are, what their stats are. And in the society we're in today, as adulthood, we tend to measure success by your bank account. Mm-hmm. Athletically, we tend to measure success by statistics. And honestly, at the end of the day, that should not identify anybody. I have been blessed. I don't want to be remembered as the best overall dealer. I don't want to be remembered as a great coach. I don't want to be remembered as
the man, the overalls.
Yeah, whatever. I want to be remembered as he was a good man that poured into his community, that if somebody needed help, you could ask him and he would be there for you. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to be remembered for. I don't want my identity to be stuck with a sport or a business or anything like that. I want it to be who I am and how I represent myself. And I talk to our girls about that every day. Your identity cannot be from this sport.
And I love that you said that because you mentioned something to me off camera when we were filming the other week that I liked and I thought it hit home was you don't tell your team, we got to win this game. It's we got to win every possession in basketball.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, one of the biggest reasons to play sports is to learn life lessons. Let's go back to car sales. Mm-hmm. I don't wake up this morning and say, man, I want to sell something today and sell it. You don't wake up and say, I want to win today and win. There's networking, there's having inventory, there's prospecting, all that stuff that goes into selling something. Same thing goes into winning a ball game. Am I mentally prepared? Have I been taking my extra T work? Am I prepared for every situation that can happen on the field? Am I taking them extra ground balls? How's my drop step on the ball in the hole? Am I taking good angles? If we're teaching all that stuff, then we're probably going to have more success than failures. and that's going to result in more wins. Same goes in life. If you want to retire, you better start saving money early.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just one day wake up, wish I wish I had $1 million, and you've done nothing to get $1 million. You're not going to have it. You can't want to win and not put the work in. So I think that's where sports and life can come in. So I just think it's a great tool to teach kids.
It is, and I feel like sometimes, and I'm going on a tangent here as a coach, but some parents don't want to hide from it. They just go, all right, well, I don't want them to hit adversity, so let me take my kid and go run somewhere else.
Right.
And I'm sure you've seen it. I've seen it. I feel like, you know, it's like you said something about how the parents living through the kid, they need to just accept, hey, they might not have 4 runs. Celebrate them having, like you said, an out or a double play that helped save the game in the second inning.
Well, I think where that pressure comes from today is take a kid that goes 0 for 2 and a kid that goes 1 for 3 with a home run, but you win the game by 2 runs. The kid that hit the home run don't have a ball hit to him the whole game. The kid that was 0 for 2 was playing left field. There was an overthrow at third. They backed the throw up, did not allow the run to score. So there's -1 run toward the other team. That kid also put down a sacrifice bunt that allowed a run to score. So there's +1 run for our team. Then they had a runner on third and they hit a ground ball backside. There's +2 runs for our team. That kid contributed to 3 runs, a negative and 2 positives, to spread the score out, and we won by 1 or 2. They made more of an impact than the kid that hit the home run. But the parent cannot go in there and say, well, little Sally, she did a great job backing up. The only play she had today was a backup. She got a sack down. It's just too much. There's nothing to highlight there. And I think we get caught up in that, where at the end of the day, it takes everybody. When we won the state championship game, I talk about this all the time. When we won the state, there was 3 kids that was instrumental. None of them were starters. Chloe Udi, who has really had a good year for us on the mound this year, she never batted at all during the playoffs. Never
really?
Played an inning of defense.
Okay.
She pinch ran 1 time because I was out of pinch runners. Chloe would not be my first pick to run because she's not fast. But it just that situation she ran had nothing to do with winning. Yeah. Chloe threw to our batters live a couple days a week for us to practice bunting on. I was short pitching. She was there doing it. We won games because of our bunting. Chloe made an impact on that. Riley Heinlein ran for Macy Crutchfield. Riley scored the first run of the state championship game, pinch running for Macy. Macy would have not scored. Riley did. Sarah Kate Marion ran for Haley Thompson in the 7th inning, scored from second. There's no way Haley would have beat this, would have even made it close.
Yeah.
Sarah Kate scores as a pinch runner. Ball gets away. Madeline Smith comes around, scores. We win the game. That's 3 kids that were huge in that state championship that they're not going to get credit for, like the kid that pitched or the kid that went 3 for 3 or whatever. And it takes it all. And I just think we miss that in society every day. Every day. It's not just in sports. It's every day. There's people in different roles that are making your and our lives easier that we don't think about.
I agree with that 100%. That was my Caden Cheek, dude. We had a kid who was averaging 27 a game, but Caden was putting up, 10 stickbacks and 12 rebounds, just as impactful.
Right.
And as we go off of that, what drew you to stop taking that softball gig? I mean, you 3 years ago, you could have just kept doing.
I was helping. Chad Whitson was coaching, and I was helping Chad. I started out just doing Game Changer when my oldest daughter was there, and that wasn't until maybe her junior year, and then he asked me to help him, and him and Coach Chapman were doing it, and
OG Chapman.
Yep. And so I started helping them, and Chad, he decided he was going to be done when Carly graduated, and Chad had done a great job there, and Chris Chapman called and said, "Hey, why don't you, would you be interested in taking over softball?" And I said, "Surely you can find somebody better." And so then Mr. Hodgin called and said, "Hey, we'd really like for you to take it over," and everything just lined up, and so that was history.
And that journey to was it your first year state? You won state your first year?
Blind squirrel find a nut every now and then.
And you said something to me though that when you win a state title, first I want to talk about that journey, and then I want to talk about the question that everyone asks you. I get the question before we won the conference was, "Hey, are y'all going to win tonight?" You get the question, "You going to win state this year?" Every year.
Yeah, I mean that. I'm fortunate to coach where I coach, and there's a sign out there that says a winning tradition, and I don't want to think that I'm the one responsible for that. I mean, I can go back and look and guys in our community. Ricky Martinez had the knockouts. Alvin Hogan had the rage. Steve Taylor was the first fast pitch coach there. There's a lot of people that came before me that set our culture up and our tradition of winning and just that expectation up. But when you come into a program that's already won 4 state championships, it'd been 14 years difference between the third one and the fourth one.
What was the last one?
It was 10, and then we won in 24. So, but yeah, I didn't realize the pressure of state championship. You think you can win the state this year. You think you can win the state. Nobody ever asks, do you think we can win the conference? It's always, do you think we can win the state? And, obviously, there's nothing wrong with talking about that and having them goals. That don't mean you're going to win it. But talking about that journey, we lost 3 games the last week of the regular season that year. And from a talent standpoint, that team was not super talented. But that team was super committed to their role. And everybody understood their role, and everybody did the little things. And the hardest thing in my mind to winning a state championship is winning the 4 games to get to the regional finals. Because we lost the year before I took over. We lost to West Wilkes 2-1 in 9 innings. Ball didn't bounce our way. Then we beat West Wilkes in the 4th round the year we won it. They had 7 base runners. We had 1. Madeline Smith hit a triple in the top of the 7th. Alyssa Harris hit a fly ball to center. She tagged up the score. We won that game 1-0, had 1 base runner. We shouldn't have won that game. West Wilkes was better than we were, but we did. And, for a state championship to happen, you've got to be good. You've got to play at the top level, but you've got to catch some breaks. I don't care who you are. And we caught them that year.
And you mentioned one game that you said that you knew the confidence that you could win this thing if you beat this team.
That was West Wilkes.
That was West Wilkes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 100% new. I was 100% confident.
Yeah.
We were going to probably play North Stanley, and we had played North Stanley already earlier in the year, and they beat us. But I felt that they were definitely beatable. And they beat us the first round of the regional finals. We won the second game, the 13-inning game.
Wow.
And then we beat them pretty handily the third game. And then, when we got the championship, we run-rolled the first game. And then Cammie Dunn with 2 outs hit a line drive between short and third. And Sarah Kate scored, and Speedy Madeline Smith came around, and ball got away, scored, game over, we're champions. So,
and I'm sure that moment probably sunk in with all those girls and yourself, all the work, you know.
Yeah, you take Cammie, Chloe, Maddie. I've coached all them since they were 5 years old playing city ball.
Okay.
And then Alyssa and Kenlin started coaching them in 6th grade at middle school, and then Riley since she was a freshman. So,
wow.
Yeah, been a long time with them.
And they're loyal to you, Coach. I mean, we had them on the podcast. They told us about the cartwheel.
That was Nautica and Cammie. Yeah,
yeah. You have to kind of, that one I had to filter. I had to send it off to you next time for
no, that was fine. No, we won that game against West Wilkes. That they celebrated. I'm usually not one to celebrate like that.
Yeah.
And I try to be very professional at all times. But I had a little, I don't know, something maybe stuck in my craw from the way they celebrated the year before at our place. So I did a cartwheel when I went out to the circle and threw all the girls off.
Oh, I love. They got so excited, man.
Yeah,
and,
they did.
And as a coach watching this, you mentioned you have a saying. You told it to me on Randolph Sports Central. They will run through a wall for you, and then everyone. Not just your daughter Maddie when she was on the podcast with Emery, which oh my gosh, those two together at your house, they do handstands and all. But Cammie and Nautica, they tear up when they think of the last day they have to step off the field. And you're not their coach anymore.
Yeah, boy, I'm gonna jump up and down. No, I'm just kidding. No, you give them a hard time, but you create this special relationship with them. And I think the saying you're talking about is people don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And I'm not the greatest coach in the world. I mean, I've oftentimes felt like the worst hitting coach in the world because we just don't score a lot of runs. We've hit it the best this year we've ever hit it. But, I think I try to coach 90% of what I'm coaching is psychology. And I think, going back to the car business, selling cars is hard. You wait on a lot more people that say no than you do yes. So you've got to learn to get over fear of failure real quick, and you've got to learn to think quick on your feet and do things the right way. And softball is exactly a game of failure. And we talk about fear of failure constantly. And you ask the difference between boys and girls. I think I can say this because I have a great wife and 3 daughters. Okay, so that's 4 women I live with. Got a mother and a sister. Most of the time, I think a male is more confident and more eager to take on something than a female is. That's not always the case, but I think if you were generalizing, that would be the case. And you're probably not supposed to generalize today.
Hey, I got 2 girls at the house, 3 girls at the house too.
So I think that's a fair statement to make. And as I said, the female players, they want to please you. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things that we constantly have to talk about is your mindset and where is that fear of failure at? Is it creeping in? Why is doubt creeping in? Pressure comes to the unprepared. You've done everything. You're prepared. So what? You struck out. That girl did her job. That's over with. What can you learn from that at bat to accomplish, to not let that happen the next at bat? Mm-hmm. But more importantly, we can't take that at bat to the field and then not have our mind in the game, and we've got a runner on third, ground ball hit to us, and we forget to look her back because we're thinking about how we just struck out. Well, now you've hurt the whole team. So, we talk about that mindset stuff every single day, multiple times a day. I send text out on a regular basis, and, most of them text has something to do with where's your brain at, and that's just I think that's where a lot of that relationship comes from.
Love it. And you don't only, as we get close to wrapping up, the only thing you don't just make an impact in, school ball, you do knockouts. And you got a pretty cool assistant coach too, old good friend of mine, Benji Cole. But talk about how, you mentioned coaching all these kids, but the importance of giving back through the knockouts organization. Because let's be honest, we don't do coaching for this money.
Oh, no. I mean, so in the summer today, times have changed, which, this has been around a long time. We call it Showcase. Mm-hmm. And, you're simply at that point, there's not a lot of pressure for winning. You usually have a predetermined pitching rotation, and it's usually just a couple innings at a time. But, at that time, I'm talking to them kids a lot about life because they're number one, they're trying to get recruited. Number two is you want to make sure they're going to the right fit for them.
Yeah.
And so we talk about that a lot, and, then have relationships with different coaches. And again, you're selling. You want to make sure you're selling a good product to the coach. And, I'm telling you, I don't care what level it is. I don't care where you're at in life, what you're doing. It don't matter if it's ball, your job, or what. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be successful at whatever you want to do. If you don't, another saying, I think Henry Ford came up with it. Haley Thompson actually made me a little thing in pottery class. You either can or you can't. Whatever you believe, you're right. And, you've got to have the right mindset of where you're going. Are you going to school at a place you can succeed? Is your number one thing to be on a D1 team and maybe not play? Can you take sitting the bench for 3 years, or can't you? If you can't, you shouldn't be looking there. Are you fine being 5 hours away from home? Can you live that far away from home, or can't you? There's all them kinds of decisions that we make, or help them girls, guide them in the right direction. And that's a totally different process than coaching school ball, but it is giving back to the kids and trying to lead them in the right direction.
I love it. That's impactful. And as we wrap up, 1 or 2 more questions. One that, we go back to that. How important is it to have a good staff in the coaching world?
Unbelievable. You're no better than the worst person around you. It's no different than any other job, and I've got great people around me. Coach Chapman, I don't know what I would do without him. Not just, everybody thinks it's just field maintenance, but he's got so much wisdom with how long he's been doing it. Kevin Hewlin is a huge asset to me. Kevin's been coaching a long time. We're sitting right there side by side, and it might be what you think, change up your curveball. Just hearing that other voice of reason beside you. And then Heaven Manus has joined our staff this year. Heaven's, in my mind, one of the 2 best female athletes that's ever been at Southwest, and she was
Who's the other one?
SAC rookie. Who's the other? Holly Hill.
Okay.
Holly Hill and Heaven Manus, in my mind, is the 2 best female athletes that's ever been at Southwest. But Heaven was rookie of the year in the SAC when she went to Wingate, and then she was female athlete of the year at Wingate, and she can throw full arm circle BP, and she just graduated 2 years ago. Heaven can. And
she's young. She's good young, to have a young.
She's a huge asset. And then Haley Epps is helping, and she'll do whatever you need to ask. So, it's huge to have that around you. Yeah. You're no better than the worst person you got helping you.
They do, and they actually, it's funny, your players told me a story about that they needed to work on their bunting. Mm-hmm. And you had it, and you said you literally put the net close as you could to them. Was it during playoffs, and you were just throwing it, just like.
Yeah. When we were going, I'm telling you, our team batting average was 216 going into the championship weekend.
Yeah.
When we won the state championship, 216. We had in 7 games, I think we had 5 shutouts. The most runs we'd given up was 2. So if I had speed, if I could get somebody on and steal second, we could bunt to third, we could squeeze home, or we could hit a ground ball backside. So, you've got to put pressure on them at practice. So I would get that screen just as close as I could get it, and I was throwing it as hard as I could, and they've got to get them bunts down. And, then all of a sudden when the game comes in, that bunt's just floating up there, and you just, bam, there it is.
I love it. Yeah. They talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we did that a lot. I would have pitchers throw, instead of throwing from 43 feet, we might throw from 30 feet just to speed things up a little bit. We do that constantly. Defensively, if we're doing situations, our runners are always starting at least 50 feet. Not 60. Sometimes we start at 40. The quicker you can do it there, the easier it becomes in the game.
I love it. And my last question, when Coach Strider, Coach Toby, hangs up the whistle, puts up, the cleats, and decides to ride off into the sunset, what do you want people to say about Coach Strider?
That he made an impact on kids, and that, if you needed something, he was there for you. That's it. I don't care about wins and losses. I don't care what my record is. Do I want to win? Yeah. I don't know how many games I've won as a coach. I just want to make an impact on these kids, make their lives better.
I love it. And then as we wrap up, we're going to give a shout out. Just keep swinging. I know you know those people really well, Curtis and Kelly.
Yep. Curtis, and Curtis now pretty well runs the Knockouts organization, and he does a ton for kids. The thing about Curtis, it don't matter if kids playing for the Knockouts or who they're playing for. If he can help that kid, he's going to help that kid. And him and Kelly do a great job with the organization. They're doing a great job with Just Keep Swinging, and I'm tickled for them.
I love it. So they give me all this cool merch. I don't usually wear camo, but I rock it now.
I can take you hunting. You can wear that camo.
You told me you want me to bring the drone out for you.
That's right. Yeah.
And then one other person I got to give a shout out to as well is Mark Von Canis. Aaron, he saw that piece with you, and he was like, man, I want my name tied to anything with Southwest. He was telling me a story about his grandpa, was it, or his dad with the softball world?
Yeah, his dad, this was before Fast Pitch. His dad was coaching travel softball a long time ago. Mark was 3 years ahead of me in school, graduated from Southwest. He's at about all of our home softball games, at a lot of basketball games. So I give Mark a hard time. He's better off as a spectator than a referee.
I love it.
Yeah.
And as we sign off, you got anything you want to say, Coach? Anything you think of?
I appreciate you having me, and I just want to give back to the community, give back to the kids, and if I could say one thing to any parent, it would be, and I've had to learn this. If I could say anything to any young parent, give your kids some grace. It's a game of failure. I don't know anybody bats 1,000 at their job every day. Nope. It's sort of like I say about umpires. Guy behind the plate, 7-inning game, probably 250 pitches thrown. Well, if he misses 5 pitches, he was about 98% right today. Do you do your job 98% right every day? So let's give them some grace, and let's just, if you can help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want.
Are they going to retire the Gator / golf cart? Would you? When
I don't know about that. We hadn't wore it out yet, but we're trying.
Pause. Let's talk about the press box, man. You decided to build that, and that's one thing. And I keep saying we're going to be signed off. We're going to be signed off, but you're doing so much. That community is. You developed a media press box. Mm-hmm. Talk about that and the vision there before we sign off.
Well, so when we won the state championship, a couple people brought to my attention how successful our program had been. I didn't even realize that we were like in the top 5 all times of fast pitch history in the state, and we were tied for first or second in state championships. And I was looking around, and I was like, our dirt's pretty good, our grass is really nice, but our facilities look the same as they did 25 years ago. So last year we took down the backstop, the left field fence, put in the brick foundation and the netting. This year we were going to do the netting down the right field side, and we could have, between our announcer and Sports Tone, Randolph Sports Central, different things, we could have the whole first base side of the backstop taken up, and that was eliminating a lot of seats. And we have some great crowds. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal the amount of people that come to our games. So I said, where can I put them at? And that idea hit me to put them over the top of the first base dugout. So now all the media's up there. We've opened up a lot more seats, and I think the media has been just tickled to death with it. So it's great, and our community has just got behind us and helping us.
You got a sign that says media only.
Yeah, raise money, donate materials, donate time and labor, and I couldn't have done it without the community, but they have been great for that.
I love it. And you told me the funny story of you had to put up media only sign.
Yeah, my dad, him and Randall Myers and Mike Thompson and several of them, Mike Brower, they're at every game and sit back there. And Daddy's like, we're going to come sit up here. I said, no, you're not. It's media only. If I get all y'all up here, it's going to defeat the purpose. So I put that media only sign up there, and I give them a hard time about that.
I love it. And any insight on any other renovations coming that we can be?
Not right off the top of my head. I've got some stuff that obviously I'm thinking about doing and whatnot, but I don't know in what order we'll do it. But, just constantly trying to improve what we've got. Randolph County is loaded with softball talent.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just Southwest Randolph; it's the whole county. I mean, Randleman's phenomenal. Eastern Randolph has been really good in years past. UCA's good. The county is just really good, and softball's a big thing here. So I think it's easy to get people behind it. And if you start working and start talking about your vision, people will buy in, and you can make stuff happen like this.
Coach, thank you for coming on, and I want to thank all our viewers. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and pass it along. Hit that message button and send it to a friend. See you next time.
Another sponsor of this episode is Mark Von Cannon with Hallen Allen Tate Realtors. Your go-to for real estate, backed by market knowledge and real-world experience. Just remember, themarkv.com.
Next time.
Ready to dominate social media? Meet Core AI Media, your expert team of videographers and digital strategists powering data-driven campaigns with cutting-edge AI. We analyze, target, engage, monitor in real time, and deliver results that surprise industry standards. From skyrocketing engagement to crushing your goals, we are measured by results. Contact Core AI Media today at info@coreaimedia.com. Let's grow your brand fast. This episode is sponsored by Just Keep Swinging. From top quality equipment to custom apparel like hats, shirts, and more. They're more than just sporting goods store. They are here to support our athletes and community every step of the way. Whether you're gearing up for game day or looking to rep your team with fresh merch, Just Keep Swinging has you covered. Give them a follow today